What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Wheels Fall Off podcast. I am your host, Candace, also known as Spice from SpiceLifeTv, and this is my beautiful husband and co-host, Creed.
How you doing, baby?
I'm good.
How y'all doing? I'm Creed, and it's the podcast where we discuss relationships and reentry, particularly as it pertains to incarcerated individuals and their families.
And why is that, babe?
Because, babe, I did 23 years in prison, and the whole time you was there with me. 23 years in prison for a crime I didn't commit. You were there with me, and the whole time we fought for love and we fought for justice. We fought for our right to be there and be here right now, and we won.
And we won.
So we want to talk to y'all about it.
That's right. This is a journey of Black love, and we are going to do this until the wheels fall off, and we just want y'all to come along with us.
You know?
So let's go.
Let's roll.
All right, so we're going to continue this on. If you guys have seen our first part of the episode, we were talking about extended family visits, also known as trailers, also known as EFVs. We're going to continue that conversation, but in order to do that, we're going to just make this a whole second episode for you. Mm-hmm. So to do that, we always start off with our segments, and today we're going to start off with the highlight and heartbreak segment. Mm-hmm. And I think that I'm going to start since you started last time.
Okay.
I'm going to start with the highlight. That this is something that I'm learning about myself, and I'm going to say it because I'm learning to put titles to things so that I can accept that I am those things.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if a lot of you guys know this, but I recently started a cake decorating business where I started Candy Got Cakes and things.
Candy got cakes. Candy got cakes. Candy got cakes. Candy got cakes.
Candy got cakes. Candy got cakes. Candy got cakes.
That she do.
All right, so I started doing the cake decorating thing, and it was something that I just started to do during the pandemic. I have actually always wanted to learn how to decorate cakes, but during the pandemic, it was like, okay, I have this time. Let me go ahead and start doing it. And it just it was a hobby that I was doing for friends, for family. And then friends started saying like, hey, can I buy your cakes? And when that started happening, it was like, oh, maybe I have a business here. But one of the things that I will say that I've learned about myself that I never thought I was. I never ever gave myself the title of being a creative or an artist. I never ever thought that was me. And now, I mean, it's still weird to put that title on me, but when I look at my cakes and I look at my decorations and I look at my creations, that's exactly what your girl is. I am an artist.
You didn't know?
No.
Why you didn't know?
I never, ever saw myself like that. Like, to me, an artist always had they just could do art in a certain way. Mm-hmm. And they were very creative. Like, things would just come to them in ways that I just never thought I had. And even when I started decorating my cakes and people were like, oh my God, you're so good at it. I learned, or I realized that I make a lot of excuses as to why I'm good at something. I diminish it. I just practice, or I just learned this. Instead of being like, hell yeah, I'm good at this. Mm-hmm. I just taught myself how to do this from just watching TikTok videos in less than 6 months. And now I'm making these cakes and selling these cakes, started a whole business, and look at your girl. Like, yeah. I'm not good at that yet, but I'm about to be.
Like that, babe.
I'm about to start really up in myself, because I do a lot of really great things and a lot of cool things, but I haven't acknowledged or realized that they're cool. Mm-hmm. So I need to just like really realize how dope I am.
You do. You 100% own that, because the thing is, an artist is somebody who they have a space to create and they just take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. That's all, and that's all you're doing. You're in a space, you're creating, you're taking advantage of the moment to make these cakes. And the thing is, your cakes have the same effect that a nice portrait does somebody. Like, somebody's like, man, that's nice. It makes them feel a certain way, you know? And every single time you have presented a cake to somebody, you've always been nervous about what they're going to think about with your cake. And every single time they be like, this is dope. It looks dope.
Except
it tastes
for one.
bomb.
There's only been one time where I did not feel good about my cake. Every other time, though, it's been like, heck yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
And I also see the improvement every time. And my confidence improves every time. And I'm starting to try different things, different techniques that I just never thought I could do. I don't know. It's kind of cool to be 42 and realize, like, you still got new tricks. You can teach that dog some new tricks.
You is talented.
You is smart. You is kind.
The thing is, I see
it smart.
100%. Black, and smart. But when I see those type of cakes, because Janice makes specialty cakes, so when I see those, for some reason, I don't see them as like tasting good. They just look good.
Oh.
Your cakes is soft, taste bomb. You know what I'm saying? Like when you go past a window and you see somebody that makes those cakes, like a store or a bakery or something, and you be like, yeah, it looks a nice looking cake, but do it taste good? And it probably does. I'm just saying, in my mind, I'm always thinking like, it probably don't even taste good. Your cakes is soft, moist.
Well, thanks, babe.
Hella bomb. If you say it's buttercream, something buttercream, it's buttercream. Like it tastes like it. If it got some strawberry filling, it literally, whatever you say the flavor is, I taste that in the cake.
That's good.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, I've seen people make a yellow cake with chocolate frosting and it don't taste like either one of them things. Like seriously.
Well, I appreciate that because I've never been a baker, never enjoyed baking because you have to measure, and I'm a cook. I just throw things in a pot. So baking is a new thing for me, and I don't necessarily enjoy the baking part. The cake, I'm not the baker that you come to because I've put all this effort in making these new flavors. Mm-hmm. Like that's not my thing. My thing is making the damn thing look good. I want it to be pretty. I want it to look. That's what I want, and I want it to taste good too. But the look is what I'm going for.
But here's the thing, though. I feel like you're not just the artist in that. The fact that you artistically present them in videos the way you do.
Oh, thanks.
You know what I'm saying? That's another part of creation.
I know. See, and as much as I like doing the videos and stuff, I never thought of that as being like a artsy kind of a thing.
You're creating.
Yeah.
And literally from scratch. Like your list.
All these things I've told myself I'm not because either someone else has told me I wasn't or I just didn't fit that. And now I'm just like, girl, yes, you are. You are that girl. Mm-hmm. And to be this big age and realize you finally realize you were that girl, I love it. Because that just means like, what else am I? Let's find out.
Told you, baby. It all evens out. Like how you taking your talents and you're using them. Mm-hmm. I really do.
What about you? You got a heartbreak highlight?
I mean, mine is, I don't think it's going to be big to anybody else, honestly, but, so we had a 3-day weekend here recently, and, like, I got to, like, paint my bar area, and it was something that was, like, totally unplanned. So I got a man cave at home, and so in my man cave, there's a bar area, and I've been neglecting for 2 years to paint that area and get it right. And so then we was just talking, I think on Saturday or Sunday night, like, do we still got the paint? We need to go get some and get that done. Maybe that's something we could do this weekend. I happened to look. We bought the paint so long ago, we forgot that we bought a whole gallon of that damn paint. Yeah. So, boom, I bust out the paint and I just start painting, doing my thing. And, you know, there's a lot of renovations in our house that I have done and whatnot. But this one, for some reason, was just, like, special. Mm-hmm. I think it's because it's in my space. I never had a bar in my space before. I got a sign.
It finishes it off.
Huh?
It kind of just finishes off the room.
It really does. Mm-hmm. I got a sign that indicates that it's Creed's man cave. You know what I'm saying? Bought my baby.
I got it for Christmas. That's how long he's had the sign, and the sign just got up.
It's August. It's September.
September.
Woo! Brother been busy though. But yeah, just to be able to take advantage of that time and do something for us and our space and our, you know, it was just fun for me. And I don't know if you noticed this, but like, while I was doing it, well, you were asleep a lot of the time I was doing it.
Whatever, dude.
You was sleeping. You was out.
No.
It didn't really help to the end. But no, I was playing. But while I was doing it, I never got tired. I never got
you didn't.
I was just like, this is a different feeling. Mm-hmm. And it just felt good. And I think I'm not saying I'm about to be doing all the damn house projects immediately like that, but I'm telling you, right, it just felt different, you know, and I think it made me realize I need to take more time to do stuff around the house because it's being productive, but it also is doing something for us, and it makes me feel real good. And that's kind of like a part of me that I opened up I didn't even realize. Because a lot of renovations I did with my boy. Me and Rail renovated our basement together. This is my guy that I was incarcerated with. When I first came home, I was still on paper and all that, and he came over to the house and helped me renovate the basement, but I did it with somebody. This was like my own little thing. Y'all be like, man, it's just paint. Like, you know, what's it about that? You put some paint where it ain't. That's all you have to do. But it was different. Like it was different for me. It was like, yeah, this is dope, you know. And I didn't get tired. And I made it, and it looks good.
It does look really.
It's
good.
not all the way finished, but it's the big part is done, and that was like a highlight for me, you know, because I didn't feel like I was working all week. Try to get some rest on the weekend, back to it. It was like I did something productive for us, and at the same time made me feel good.
Honestly,
so
that 3-day weekend really helped me realize how much I'm more excited to grind so that we can make that a tradition, or not a tradition, a staple in our lives. Because, you know, I don't know if we've shared, but our goal is to make our life, our income, our career around this life that we've lived. Mm-hmm. And having the flexibility to be able to work with you, create with you, and then have time where we can literally process and think about what we want to do next so we can be proactive instead of always reactive. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what I want for our life. I don't want it. I want every day for us to be able to wake up and decide what we're going to do with our day that day. For like, sure. We might know these are the things that we need to get done, but working with you and being around you, it just does something for me. Like, I feel like I get better. Like, it's like a, you know, on the video games when they're like playing and they're trying to like, trying to run and get the mushroom or something because they need to get like bigger. Mm. It's like being around you just gives me more stability, more structure, more like,
oh, baby,
like dope. I just feel like I'm getting bigger, like going up. Does that make sense? I appreciate
that. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank
really
you.
Do. I mean, you make me feel the same way. I just never had. I don't think I've ever had anybody express it to me like that before. So thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
That was it was dope. It was a dope weekend. We didn't do nothing. We was there from Friday until, and our cars, neither one of our cars moved until Sunday night.
I gotta say, one of my heartbreaks, which is also kind of a highlight. I don't know if I've shared too much on this platform, but if you've been on my Instagram and all that stuff, y'all know I've been dealing with the perimenopause. Old Perry. He had been just wearing your girl out for months. And so recently, I've just tried a new kind of remedy, and I have been getting some of the best sleep. I have not had to wear my neck fan. I'm not burning up all the time. Like, my temperature is regulated. I'm not hot and cold at the same time. Like, dealing with those perimenopause symptoms is not for the weak, and I have been dealing with it for over 2 years, and finally having some relief. It has just changed my whole disposition.
I love it. It has.
I just feel better all over.
Like, I've literally been having a conversation with you, and you've been like, hold on, let me go grab some tissue real quick. Come right back, and you like drenched in sweat.
Drenched.
Your neck, forehead, everything. And I'll be like, what's going on? And then you'll be like, I'll be standing in the kitchen in front of the fan or something. You'll be like, give me the fan. And I'll be like, what's going on? And you be like, hot flash. I'll be like, oh.
Like, I can't, they come over you, and you feel like you're going to pass out, but you can't do anything until you get that under control. I can't have a conversation. I can't think. The words are hot coming out of my brain. The words be hot. Mm-hmm. It's just something that I cannot explain unless you've been through it. I feel so much better. So much better.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Any other?
Congratulations. No, I don't have any heartbreaks, but heartbreaks and highlights. Mm-hmm. I mean, just stay tuned. I think some things might be coming around the pike, hopefully. I do too. You know?
I do
so
too.
We'll see.
All right. Well, we're going to do in our Ice Grill segment. And so this question kind of leads into what we were talking about before. And this question was, did you ever have phone sex, and were you afraid of it being recorded? So I think you guys heard the video of us talking about the guard that was recorded on camera and tape doing phone sex with the inmate, and they caught her. And I was squealing because I was so embarrassed for her because they played it back for her with her right there, and she's having to listen. One thing that took me so long to get over was the fact that those phones were recorded. And that was a big...
Which they let you know before every phone call, so they don't forget it. Every phone call.
So you can't forget it. And I mean, I was a square. I'm still a square, but I was very much a square. Very much just like super sheltered, super like, what? You want me to do what over what? Over what? But you get over that. You grow up and things you need things, and then you just get over it and you make it happen. And then it just becomes a thing like if she or he is listening, they about to get a good ass show.
They damn right.
They about to get a good show.
So to answer your question, yes, we had phone sex. Yes. Yes. Absolutely, we did our thing, and I used to even tell you like, listen, I can't never run for office and nothing like that because they got me on tape right now. They gonna play this in my campaign or something like that if I wanted to run for office. But yeah, I mean, and the thing is, you don't never know who's listening, but you kind of have an idea based upon where certain guards work and whatnot. You'd be like, damn, they
probably heard that one. And I mean, there was also times that I would feel like, did he hear?
Yep.
Why is he looking at me so much?
Yeah.
Or why is he looking at this tape? Did he hear us last night? I mean, there's always that paranoia sometimes.
Well, I'm always worried about it because I know people heard me because in prison the phones is right next to each other, right? So if usually there's 3 or 4 phones.
I'm embarrassed right now talking about it.
That's crazy that you are.
I feel so crunchy.
It's like 3 or 4 phones, right? So you'll have 3 or 4 phones on this side and then 3 or 4 phones on the back side of those phones. I always try to get an end phone so I only had one person on the side of me and I could do this, but as well as I do, the phones be crowded. Yeah. So you take whatever phone you can get. So now I'm sandwiched in between 2 people. I'm sitting down, the cord to the phone is only this long. From the phone to the receiver is only this long. I'm trying to bend over and talk to you so these cats can't hear me and have my little phone sex or whatever. And I'm over here basically pumping and sweating and grunting and all that shit on the phone. And I'm just like, ain't no way in the world these cats. And I be so into it that I know they didn't heard it because I didn't got louder. And you know me, that's what I do, right? Do I not get loud? So
I'm dying.
There's times where like I get off the phone and I be trying to act normal. I hang up the phone, I be like, yup. What's up, bro? What's up? What y'all been doing? Like, what's up? Because I want to know if somebody gonna be like, nigga, what you doing on the phone over there? Like, but at the same time, I wouldn't go shy away from it. I'd let them know, like, yeah.
How many times did that happen? Did they call you out?
No, nobody ever did.
What?
That doesn't mean nobody heard me. Oh, no. Nah. Your little funny looking little partner.
Which one?
The short one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he heard me one time.
What did he say?
No, so what happened was so one time we was having phone sex and what I didn't realize is so Monroe was a little bit different. Monroe had the phones on the wall and there was probably like 2 feet in between each one. And one particular night when I was nobody on the phone. Mm-hmm. So that was also always a good thing either because the focus is on you.
Yeah. So
I'm on the phone and I'm not realizing that while I'm talking to you, I was sitting on the stool going like this.
I cannot.
Oh my God. This Negro, now mind you, I'm looking around and see if there's nobody around, right? This fool gets off the phone a long time ago. He went and posted up over there. He was waiting for me when I got the phone. So I'm walking towards him. I'm doing the same thing. What's up, bro? What you doing over here? Like, what's popping? He was like, what the fuck was you doing over there grinding on that goddamn seat? I said, man, listen, I ain't seen baby in a couple months, man. Like, it is what it is, my guy. He was like grinding shit out that big ass hunchback. He started imitating. He was like, your back was hunched and you was just. I said, oh my God. So we clowned. He clowned me on that. We laughed about that for a while though.
Oh my God.
But shit, it's necessary. Sorry about that. But it is what it is. So yes, we had phone sex a lot.
Okay. So hopefully that answers your question. Get myself together. Okay, so we're going to jump back in and continue on with part 2 of our original conversation about trailers and extended family visits. So if you stayed around for part 1 or haven't started part 1, please go back, watch part 1, and then now jump in for part 2.
For sure.
Hope you enjoy.
All right. I get back to the unit, put all my stuff in my room, and use the bathroom again because 9 out of 10 I still had to go, and immediately call you. And then before we get to that, before you left trailer though, tell the people how it felt when trailer was ending because we used to go through it.
We would go through it. So the crazy thing is, like, day one, you're on cloud nine because you're just so excited and you're like, oh, we still got a whole full day to have to go.
Facts.
Day one was great. Day night, the first evening, amazing because you're sleeping in the bed with each other. The next morning is beautiful. You're waking up with each other and you're like getting to start the day together, things you never get to do before. Making food, hanging out, watching movies, like doing everything that you just would do on a typical weekend with your boo. It was about until, I think it was that 4 o'clock count.
4 or 5 o'clock, yeah, every time.
It just started to sink in that, like, okay, this is winding down. And I remember after that 4 or 5 o'clock, whatever that account was that was later in the day or in the later afternoon, that was when it was started for me. But it wasn't until like that 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock time when the sun would start to go down, and you realize like, oh, this is the second night, and then that means tomorrow it's over. That like we both would just. There would be these bouts of silence for a long time, and neither one of us. A lot of times I think we didn't want the other person to know that we were feeling that or thinking that, and not realizing like, oh no, we both ain't been talking for 2 hours now.
Yeah.
Just sitting with each other, like holding each other, just not talking because of the dread.
And I honestly don't think that either one of us wanted to go back to the life we had because it was without each other.
Gosh,
and that's what we were thinking
cry
about.
A little bit.
I know. It would literally, I'll be thinking, of course, going back to being incarcerated, going back inside, and she would think about like going home and to a probably empty house and all that, and it's just, and we wouldn't see each other. That was a lot, man. That was a lot. And so like the trailer would end we go on the Friday, get out on the Sunday, and then when the earliest we could see each other was that following Friday, and it was like, damn, babe, I'm gonna miss you.
It was that was a lot. That was early on. I had to learn how to flip my switch. Remember, I used to tell you, like, leaving him at visit was always hard, especially like the first few years was always so hard leaving visit. It was kind of the same thing. Like the last 2 hours of visit, you just got really sad because you knew it was time to leave. And I think with the EFE, that made that really hard for me because it was like just moments of being normal and feeling normal and just having like the world weight just was off of me when I was with you there. And I remember that being such an escape for me because at the time, like when we first started getting trailers, my life was really shitty. I had a lot going on. My mom had died not too long. I mean, it had been a while, but I was dealing with a lot of the aftermath from that. Still with her death, my family, my dad, like all of that stuff. And so you became this escape for me in a lot of ways. Prison just became this escape. And when we started the EFVs, I just had realized like how much I hadn't been really hugged. I didn't get touched a lot in my regular life. And so then like having those moments of where you were just all over me and I could be all over you back, and us just being able to like talk uninterrupted and having conversations where there was just nothing. There was no interruption. There was no phone. There was nobody else. There was no drama with my family. There was none of the mess. It was just like such a safe place for me that I would get really sad about having to return to my life because it was lonely. And it was just full of loneliness and a lot of sadness and not a lot of people I could trust and not a lot of people that I felt supported me or had my back. And I remember like not realizing how much I didn't have that until that very first trailer when we were having to leave. Then it was like, oh my gosh, I'm so alone. I'm so alone, and I'm so like I didn't realize how deprived I was. That was like the beginning of me realizing that you're not around people that really are filling your cup. But I'm not knowing that then. It just was a beginning for a lot for me.
Yeah, I get that. And
that was a lot.
And I think the same thing was going on with me because, you know, I wasn't one to have like a lot of friends and whatnot, a lot of cats that I let kick it with me, but it was glaringly obvious when I was with you at the trailer that I was with somebody real, and I was about to go back to all these fake Suckerville ass cats, And it was just daunting sometimes, you know. And after spending time and being emotional with somebody and going back to what you have to do, I had to hit the switch too. It was just a different type of switch. But yeah, it wasn't fun at all. It wasn't fun leaving you at all. But we had to do it in order to go to the trailer. We had to get over that little hump. And then tell them about the switch, like what you did.
I was just about to say, like, I honestly think that is one thing that I regret about prison a lot, is that I got so good at flipping that switch that I think I turned off a lot of my emotion and a lot of my feelings about things, because the switch for me was really, I used that to survive. It was like I gave myself so much time after a visit to feel the sadness of leaving you. And when prison thing first started, it would literally send me into this like sadness for days where I couldn't do a lot. Like I would just fall into this depression, and my life was so chaotic that there was just no way for me to be able to do that. So it was like I had to learn how to be like, okay, as soon as you walk out these doors, you are sad and you feel bad about him. But as soon as that last prison door clanks behind you, whatever the last one is, if it's the one that, you know, whatever that last door is, that's when it's over with. You're not thinking about the trailer. You're not thinking about the visit. You are thinking about what is next to do, because I had to literally just compartmentalize everything so rigidly to survive it. Like it was a coping mechanism. But now that I've realized that, like, I don't have to live that way.
I'm sorry, babe.
It's hard to let myself feel a lot, which this is actually good. This crying is good for me, because I would never let myself do that before. I would stack and stack and push and push and push. And a lot of times I think that manifested itself in ways I didn't want it to, and not positive things. But I got so good at flipping that switch that I became numb to a lot of different areas of feeling. And I just stopped feeling. And I'm still learning how to turn those pieces of feeling back on. Because it's not only just me having to protect myself because of our situation. It was me having to protect myself because of the people out here that I was, dealing with, that I thought was like, I had to have in my life, and that I thought was supposed to be there for me and support me and love me, and they're supposed to be family, and they're supposed to do all these things. And when none of that was matching, it was like glaring, like you're by yourself out here. You are alone. If you don't do this, nobody's going to do it. If you don't get yourself together, you are going to fall flat on your face, and there's not going to be anything, because these people ain't trying to save you.
Right.
So, and like I had to learn how to save myself, which is not an award. You don't get an award for that. It just... thinking about how hard I treated myself to try to think that was how I needed to survive, it just makes me sad, because I did turn off a lot of my, I think sometimes a lot of my soul, because I just couldn't deal with all of it. And I didn't have real support. Let's just be real. I didn't have that. I was alone, and I just thought that was a protection, and it got me through, but I do see the lasting effects it's had on me now that I'm trying to undo and make lasting connections with people, because it made it really easy for me to be like, oh, switch, you a switch. I could switch you off too, and I just would switch, and I would be done and never think of you or anything else again. To people, I mean, that I would switch off. Like, that's how good I got at flipping that switch. And now I'm realizing, like, people are necessary. The right people are necessary. And I want to feel what I feel. And I want to be able to feel sad and alone. But the difference is now I have someone who can, like, help me feel less of that. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. I mean, listen, it doesn't matter what type of person you are. The defense mechanism you were speaking about earlier, it can't, you understand, people, like, it cannot involve emotion. It can't involve spirit. Like, it's like a soulless replacement that you do with yourself, to not feel what you need to feel to get through these situations. And like you said, you end up doing it so easily, so effortlessly, that it becomes second nature. Like I had to do it in a different way on my end, you know. It's like shut that down, you know. It might be one person you might let know, like, man, I love my baby, man, but everybody else aren't privy to that information, you know. And so, I think a lot of times you had to present yourself in a way that was a defense mechanism, but there wasn't a lot of soul, wasn't a lot of emotion behind it. It's just a lot of just what's the word I'm looking for when you just put stuff down and don't deal with it, you know. And then over time, that has to have an effect on you, and it did, you know.
Avoidance.
And I'm sorry I went through that, because there's definitely a trade-off for getting the EFVs and stuff like this. But yeah, it was.
There would be times where there'd be ladies, you know. Most times we go to EFVs with another couple that we don't know or we never talk to, never even see really, because they might be in a different unit or something. But one thing that was always in common is didn't matter who was leaving the visit, whether it was the mom, the sister, the girlfriend, the wife, whatever. Well, the wife, it couldn't have been the girlfriend. We all would sit in those vans or whatever we were in getting transported, and it was just always this heavy silence. And there'd been times where I'd have ladies that would reach over and like grab my hand, because in that moment, like you're just, I don't know you, but we are connected.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes that's why it's so hard when you don't have those relationships anymore, because we literally went through hell together. And then you go through hell together, and then now we don't even talk, which is so interesting to me. But I mean, also, I understand why. There's just something about anybody who's done this time, any level of it. Like I will always have this understanding for you and an empathy for you and a level of respect for you, because I just know what you went through. I know the emotions that it takes for you to do it. I know all of the things that it goes through. So it's not an easy thing, but I was also so grateful that we were able to have that as part of our experience, because we know couples that have been married years and still don't have that. Don't get the opportunity for those trailers. Yeah. So
I mean, there's a human element to the trailer visit that I don't really think people take into account. I mean, don't get it twisted. I ain't no prude, so I know what we talk about. We talking about going out there and bout chicka wow, you know, getting some, right? But the human element and the emotional element is you literally, even if it's for 24, 48 hours, you get to just live like a normal person. And I don't know what I'd have done if I'd have done all this time and not been able to live like a normal person. I'd be all right, but I'd be a little bit different.
Well, also, too, I think that it is doing some of those guys a disservice, too, because there's a lot of those guys that are getting action and are going to get to come home soon. And the fact that now you're going to send them home and never have given them an opportunity to just see how that is. You would think that you'd want to figure that out in there. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
I mean, you know as well as I do, they didn't want us to have those things. And at the time we were doing time, it was only 3 states that had them. I think it's only 2 now.
I think it's still 3. But here's the other thing, though. Like, I realized how much I was missing human connection. You know, I'm out here a single woman, and I have friends and stuff. And yeah, you hug your friend. They might hug you and stuff. But there's a different type of hug. And then to realize, like, oh, I don't get hugged every day. I go weeks without being hugged, because if I'm not seeing the friends that I'm hugging, who's hugging me? My family, we don't hug. So what? It was weird to not get to notice that how much I'm not getting touched. So imagine, and I'm out here free. So if you're not letting these men get that same opportunity to just feel human connection, how are they supposed to do that out here? And why would you not want them to do it? Because that just makes you better. It makes them, it has a softness to them, and it makes you just more human when you are treated like a human. You know what I mean? Like the same thing. So I just don't understand why that's not more encouraged.
I mean, prison, prison focuses on punishment and nothing else. And so it's like you got guards up in there that's looking at you like, how you get to go to a trailer after you did this out there? Not taking into account this person is very different. Or in order to get the trailers, you have to conduct yourself a certain way. I'm not saying everybody does, but for the most part, incarcerated cats make great strides to qualify for that. And that goes unnoticed by anybody that works there, because the only thing they want to do is punish us and be like, y'all should not have this in the first place. that's hard to look at and deal with and see how they look at you and treat you during the whole process of just checking in. Like, you know, it's like they hoping you pop dirty for a UA. You know, they hoping you try to bring something out there you ain't supposed to, or try to bring something back you ain't supposed to. They're loving that element of it. But yeah, the human factor of it is, I think a lot of chunks of time that I spent with you in those trailers, it made me a better man on the inside. When I was in there and doing the stuff I was doing, I can't take credit for all of it. It was just, there was a part of me that wasn't going to lose that, but there's also a part of me that didn't want you to be disappointed in the way, you know what I'm saying, I was presenting myself every single day. So yeah, that was huge. That was just huge. I wanted to make sure that every month, every 2 months, every 3 months, no matter what institution we was at, I was getting that touch, that feel. To be able to, because how many times did we just lay in the dark and just talk all night? All night. It wasn't even like, it wasn't even.
I miss those.
I know. Too. It wasn't even a sex thing. Like, we used to just talk, TV off, completely dark, and just go all night. The next thing you know, it'll be 3-4 hours later. We'd be like, what time is it?
We'd be starving. That would be what it was. We'd be hungry. Someone had to pee or something. But even now, like, when you first came home, remember, that was kind of like when we would get overwhelmed, we'd be like, you want to do trailer this weekend? So we'd like play trailer, which would mean we'd go down to the basement.
How sad is that? But it's true.
We'd go down to the basement. We blew up the air mattress, put it in front of the TV like we would do in trailer, bring all the snacks and lay it around us. And we would just like camp out downstairs, because when he first got home, I think we both just got overwhelmed a lot. And we got overwhelmed with like how to be with each other and balance life. And even now, I think sometimes we spend we're together a lot, but I don't feel like we get as much quality time like we did all the time at trailer, because it was literally dedicated to just us. There was nothing that could interrupt us. I couldn't bring in a phone. There was just, regular TV. There was no phone calls. There was nothing. Yeah. And we would just be there, like, literally refilling our cups for 2 days off of each other. Yeah. And talking and building and planning. And
like now I'm home. Sometimes when I do get a moment to sit down and be still, I'm thinking about work or, anything else I'm going through as far as trying to reintegrate myself. I might be going through some
it's true.
Yeah, something that happened. So yeah, it's not like carefree, just get to just talk to you and just experience that. It's like I'm always thinking about something else. So yeah, you're right.
Because we'll have nights where we were like, the next morning we'll be like, I don't feel like we spent any time together, but we've been together. We've just been doing our minds have been doing other things separately, and we just have not had that like connection time, which I do sometimes miss. The fact I miss those elements of connection that prison provided, and that was the only availability. Like, you only could do it this way, and so it forced you to just get in there and really like make the best of it. Yeah, parts of that I do miss.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Because even though now I can see you whenever I want to, it was like I knew on Fridays it gave me something to look forward to, and I knew that like we were gonna just have this dedicated time to each other. And yeah, Fridays are great. We look forward to Fridays now, but now it's so easy for something else to come up and take the whole focus away from us. You know what I mean?
True story. Yeah. Yeah, that's a trip. And I'm not wishing that we can go back to trailer. But the moments that we had were precious, and they weren't coded by prison. Like when we were together in those trailers, it was just me and you and nobody else in the world. Those gates and bars didn't exist. Your family didn't exist. My family didn't exist. It was just us. And we did a lot of planning for the future. We did a lot of talking about how we wanted this relationship to be when we got out. I think it served us really, really well.
I do too, because to me, it went along the same lines of what you always say, what you do in prison, what you do out. We planned and talked, and we just both put our hearts into it. And those trailers, we use those trailers to like make the best use of our time. There was never a time that I never felt like all of his attention was on me. I never had to compete with a video game when this man has not seen this brown naked body in how many days, and then I'm gonna be competing over. I wish I would. He at one point was like, okay, we need to get these finances together, because I was having some issues with that. So he was like, let's print off your budget, let's work out, let's like do all these things. And I had a breakdown. Remember when I had the breakdown?
I forgot about that.
I was like, I cannot do this. I was like, this is my only happy moment.
Man, I forgot
and now
all
you're
about
going to
that.
come and bring all of this money mess.
That's crazy.
And make me have to deal with this right now. And I was like, I was upset. I was like, all I get is this trailer.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't do this with you.
But in those moments, because that was a real moment, because what happened, we came home, we tried to do budget. It was kind of like the same thing.
Yeah.
You know?
It's overwhelming.
But in those moments, it allowed, this may sound very like primitive, but it allowed a man to be a man and a woman to be a woman in instances where we just don't get that. Like you didn't get to be wife 24/7. I didn't get to be husband. So little stuff that people take for granted, like just being able to go cook the meat on the open fire on a barbecue grill, you know, with the game plan and you in the kitchen or you chilling, like that type of stuff. It mattered a lot to me. That's why I used to be like, hey, it's gonna be rain this weekend. You sure you want barbecue? I'm like, I don't care.
In rain with charcoal covered up.
I don't care. Like, let's go, because it was important. I knew how I was going to exist when I came home, and I just didn't want to wait till I came home to start doing that.
Do you remember, like, okay, so you know how I would knock out and be sleep, right? And be so exhausted. One of the reasons I would knock out so hard is because when you're a single woman, you're always alert. You're always alert to your surroundings. You're always making sure that you're protected and that, like, you're just listening for yourself. At least I was. That was drilled into me when I was a kid from my dad. And then Pookie was always like, pay attention to your surroundings. Always know what's going on. So, like, I didn't realize this until probably like the third or fourth one, but I would fall asleep so hard. Like, I would sleep hard. And I realized that it was because I could finally just relax. Like, I didn't have to hear what that noise was outside and then go investigate and make sure that I was safe. I could just be asleep and he worry about everything else. Any sound that was made, or I knew they wasn't calling for me. So I didn't have to worry about the phone. I didn't have to worry about anything. It was like my one place where I could be responsibility free to an extent. And it was so beautiful. Yeah. Like, I really began to look forward to those moments, even though it took so much work to get to them, like all the work up to it. But it was always so relaxing to just be like, I am just here with my man. That's all I got to do.
That's it.
That's all I got to do for 2 days is feed him, and have fun with him.
Don't be putting no little thing over your mouth either when you
we said food,
fucking, and
fellowship.
100%.
The 3 F's.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was dope. Because I remember I used to get on you, be like, babe, why we can't watch a movie without you going to sleep?
I would be knocked. Because your girl was carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders.
Yeah, you was relaxed. For the first time.
My life was a lot. And those would be the moments where I could just woo-saw.
Yeah, and to tell you the truth, like, and this ain't no knock on, I don't feel like it's a knock on me, but I used to feel like you was looking forward to trailer for more than just me. The fact that you didn't have to have your phone with you for a couple of days, and, you know, like, basically you already covered this, but the fact that you had that phone with you, you didn't have to answer nobody, it was no job, it was no family, it was none of that. You were literally just there with me, and you didn't have to do shit for 2 days. And
the other reason, babe, is because I was there with you, and you wanted me there. There was not a lot of spaces in my life that I felt wanted. I didn't feel like I was needed or wanted at all. And so that was one other area where it was like, I am supposed to be here. This man wants me here. I don't have to prove that I'm worthy of being here. I can come in here. I could have came in there with 1 gallon of milk and you would have thought that that was going to be the best weekend ever. It was just me you wanted. And not just me for my body. Like, you just wanted to be with me. And I didn't have places in my life that made me feel like that.
Yeah, that's sad, but at the same time, that's their fucking loss. That they didn't take advantage of the opportunity to have you around, the opportunity to, you know, engage with you and build with you. And I just made sure that every single second I got with you, I tried to do that. That's it. So
we did. We had a good time.
We did.
So one of the things that I really loved when we were in trailer was before trailer. The whole thing before trailer was planning the menu. That was one of the big things that we would do before we get to trailer.
You're stupid.
And we would plan this menu like weeks ahead because it would change a few times, but we'd have like a theme of the weekend.
I'm thinking about that stupid ass list that I used to underline. Rough draft.
Because we would come to trailer and every week I would do the list. And so I'd start off like the first week would be like, okay, rough draft. And then I'd be like, revised draft.
Underline every word 3 times.
Final draft. The final week, I'd write final draft and I'd underline final 3 times, and that would send him over the edge.
Because you did it on purpose. You knew what the fuck you was doing.
That would send him over the edge.
Y'all don't even understand it now, but I'm telling you, it's annoying. It's
petty.
Yeah.
Anyway, all I'm trying to do is make a menu for you.
Whatever.
The menu was we put so much effort into this menu because we'd break it down. We'd have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then snacks. And then like sweets. Those were separate categories.
Drinks.
And drinks. Always mandatory was we always would have some ginger ale.
Yep.
And like orange juice, some type of juice, and milk, because this man loves to drink him some milk.
Absolutely.
So we'd always have those 3 things on the list.
Yeah, you were shook up.
So we'd always have the ginger ale and the milk and the juice. And I would also bring Kool-Aid. That was the other thing.
They did bring Kool-Aid because they provided sugar and flour at the trailer. And
some
salt
of them,
pepper.
they provided sugar and flour.
Yeah.
So when the ones that they provide sugar and flour, I would bring Kool-Aid because that's less big jugs of juice I'd have to bring. Because you have to bring everything. You can't just run out to the store. So if you just brought one little a pint of juice, that's a done deal. So I'm never knowing how much of whatever it is he's gonna eat.
And I drink big cups. I always
Big
grab
cups.
the biggest cup.
And the stuff that I'm buying for him is nothing I ever buy for me. I don't eat like that.
True.
I don't drink like that. So it was literally like I would go to my cousin's house and be like, hey, here's all this junk for the kids. Or I would just take it into my clients and be like, you want some extra bread? Because I would just have all these extra things that I would never use.
I mean, bratwurst, burger patties, like
steaks.
Yes, like all
ribs,
types. Yeah, it was a lot of shit.
Mac and cheese from scratch.
Didn't one time you took a
beans.
bunch of food that you cooked to work and put it on the table like a potluck type thing?
I would make every single meal. There was no. Plus, I love to cook, and I love to cook for my man. So it was like this was like heaven. This was heaven for me. So anything he wanted. Remember the time I made the oxtails?
Hell yeah.
The oxtails with some braised beef in it, and that was bomb. I made shrimp and grits.
I think that might have been my birthday too.
It might have been. We there was nothing that we didn't eat out there.
Yeah.
And we'd have big breakfasts with,
True story.
With pancakes and pork chops.
Fat.
Fried
and chicken and pork chops.
Every single meal. Who needs to cook for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Oh, we did. And then, I had so much food to bring home.
Do you remember the mandatory frying of a whole pack of bacon?
Every time, because he needed a pack of bacon just left on the stove so he could just walk by and grab a couple pieces.
I got to be able to graze with the bacon, so I'll fry it all up, put it on the plate, and y'all know what I do. Bacon don't even got to be hot. You can just go grab a piece. I'll bring her a piece, and every single time she'd be like, babe, right on time.
Because I would be packing, and sometimes I'd be embarrassed because they'd come through my bag and be like, why do you have 3 packs of bacon for 2 days? And I tell you, we ate every single pack.
We did. And I wonder how come my blood pressure was so high every time I go to the doctor and they were trying to put me on blood pressure medicine.
Because you ate 3 packs of bacon in a weekend.
I work out 5-6 days a week.
3 packs of bacon along with pork chops and pork ribs. Out of control.
Yeah, we had our pork. The fact
that you didn't have a stroke or a heart attack any of those weekends with all that sodium we were packing in.
We didn't always have beef, but we always had pork and chicken. Every trailer.
That's true.
We had rice. We had French fries.
Oh, always had some French fries. Always had the cookies or the donuts. The donut holes.
The donut holes.
Oh, we went
which
through
probably
that.
the first thing they used to get cracked when we used to come in the trailer.
Because we'd be in the bed. It'd be right after we got round 1 in, and we'd be a little hungry. And them donut holes was perfect to just be like, think. Because that was the other thing. So, of course, everybody knows what we're going to trailer to do. There's no secret. We was going to get it in. But, of course, whenever we get there, well, I mean, not all the time, but there'd be a lot of times where you're just like, you want to catch up. You want to talk. It's not just, and plus your nerves and your emotions have been so up and down. It's hard to just be like, yeah, let's get right into it. So we'd have like moments where we're just kind of like, Babe would always do this, like he'd take this deep breath. He'd sit down finally or wherever it was, and he would just take this big breath where his chest would go. I would see your chest go up, and you close your eyes and you go,
yeah.
And you would just sit there with your eyes closed for a few minutes, like, I think letting your ears get used to the silence and the quiet, and you would just keep saying, like, it's so quiet out here. You always would say that.
Yeah, because there's constant noise in the cell blocks. Every time there's just a constant white noise. There's conversations. There's doors slamming. There's people slamming phones down. There's people arguing, whether it be with each other or their girl. It's just constant noise. TV's on. Radio's on. It's just showers going. It's just all the time. So I just got out of the trailer and sit out there, because 9 times out of 10 they were in a remote area of the institution. So we used to get out there and it used to be so quiet. And we used to just like, damn, babe, it is quiet. Like,
So
I never
quiet.
get this. Yeah, I was weird. I remember that.
It did seem more quiet there because every prison is always back in some woods. It's never like, except Monroe. I think Monroe was the most
Yeah, it was next to a school,
civilized,
as a matter of fact.
Yeah, the most close to civilization. But everywhere else, you're always back off the beaten path, like way back there. And so you would see the deer would be out there. You'd see the eagles or the hawks flying around. And because you're out in kind of the country, it always seemed more quiet. And it just seemed like we were always off in our own little place. Except for, was it Shelton that had the shooting range? It was Shelton and Cedar Creek, I think.
Yes.
Because we'd always hear shooting in the distance. And the first time I heard that, it made me scared. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah,
and then we
busting.
were told that there's a shooting range along the way.
Yeah, they was busting. Yeah, they did. I forgot all about that.
They just be out there shooting it up. I'm like, what is going on over here?
Yeah. Prison.
Remember the deer at Cedar Creek?
Yeah, the deer like cheesecake.
So there was all these deer, because like I said, we were in the middle of the woods. Cedar Creek was in basically a national forest. And tons of wildlife out there. But the deer was they basically thought they were humans. They were not scared. They were very domesticated. And they would come up to the fences at the trailers. And I was trying to throw them lettuce. I'm thinking, oh, let me give them lettuce. Like, that's their animals. These animals looked at my lettuce like it was trash and just left it there. And we over here squeezing pieces of cheesecake through the fence. And they just eating it up.
They tearing it up.
Tearing up the
Got it on the
cheesecake.
side of their mouth.
Babies coming out the woods. Mama letting us feed the babies. Like, she just like, go ahead and get your piece, baby.
Smacking. Damn.
We're feeding the deers out there. That's crazy.
It is crazy. I forgot about a lot of that stuff.
There was a couple couples that we planned out on purpose, and we'd go out there together, and we did we ate with them.
Yeah, we would cook,
barbecue,
have brunch or whatever as a couple.
There was only a few institutions that would let you do that, and really you're not supposed to, but we were kind of so far away from everything, they didn't really trip too much. And then the other part that I thought was always cool about trailer is because it's in some form you're behind the wall. You're able to see more than you normally get to see. And so I always would get to see the guys walking, and you'd be able to show me like, oh yeah, they're going to chow, or oh, that's where they're coming out back from work, or that was always fun.
Remember when you seen all those dudes standing down there and you was like, what are they doing? I was like, that's a mural.
Shut up.
That's a mural, babe. That's she's looking like, what are they doing standing down there? What's that building? I said, that's a mural.
I can't stand you. First of all, don't do me.
Oh my God.
I couldn't tell. I didn't have my glasses on and it was far away.
But at that particular institution, remember where I used to go to the gate and then you could see the guys at chow.
Yeah, we'd stand on the table. I would get to stand on the table and see. I could look over the fence and he would see his guys out there, and then they'd be talking like they'd send little messages to me or whatever and say stuff. And it was always fun because, anytime a girl is around, they want to put on. They always got to put on. 100%. And it would be just funny.
100%. It's like, look at this fool.
It was always a good time.
Yeah, I remember that was the only time I could, like I said, I made sure I wanted to be a husband, and it's the only time I could. So any opportunity I can get to surprise her in the trailer and just be normal, I took the opportunity because like it was
Oh
good to
my
see
God,
your face.
you guys. One time he sent me on a scavenger hunt. Was it for my birthday?
It was for your birthday.
He sent me on a scavenger hunt in the trailer.
In this little ass trailer, it was 4 clues,
Super
and I helped her
small
with 3
trailer.
of them.
It was like 2-bedroom trailer. And he made clues and hid them around that I didn't even find. I mean, I didn't even peep it. And he made these clues, and I found it led to my gift that he got me. Which was that
That's the
wazoo
necklace
thing.
Yeah.
It was so cute because for one of the clues I could not get the clue.
You was laughing so hard, and you kept trying to read it, and I'm just like, listen, you need to focus. The sad part about it is the trailer was so small. What you didn't know is that where clue number 2 was in that drawer.
Yeah.
That's where I put the present. So after you found clue number 2 and went outside for clue number 3, I went in and put the. That's how small it was up in this place. Like I couldn't hide it nowhere else.
It was so sweet. It was so cute, babe. Okay, but the best gift that he brought me
Tell him.
was my gift wrapped.
Tell him what it is.
He got me a dick in the box.
So check this out. Shout out to my dude D Handsome.
Oh, wait! You gotta explain why you're giving D Handsome a shout out because he didn't
shout out to my
that.
dude D Handsome. Shout out to my dude Chuck. So I'm trying to give my baby a present
for Christmas,
and I said I want to present it. I want to present it in the way like I would at home.
I think this was our trailer that we got actually on Christmas Day. Too.
Yeah. And so my dude Chuck gave me a suggestion, and I was like, bet, I'm running with it, right? So the suggestion was, he was like, you should take a box and gift wrap it. Now, during Christmas time, some of the units used to take a Christmas tree and put little fake gifts up under there. So I ended up stealing one of the gifts, taking it back to the room, and it was about a box. It was about a box that long, and so I ended up getting a hole cut in it. That's what D Handsome came in. You know, I'm a little artist partner. I said I need a perfect hole. And so then I wanted to put the hole in. He put the hole in the box, and I was gonna get butt naked.
He did.
Well, I did, but at the time I'm telling myself I'm gonna get butt naked, and then I'm gonna put my dick in the box, and I'm just gonna walk out with it. And the box gonna be sitting straight up. It ain't gonna be hanging down. It's gonna be straight up, right? So my man's is like, so what I gotta do with me? I said, I need you to cut a hole in this box. I said, I gotta get in the shower. I almost tried to need you to cut a hole in this box. It took him 10 minutes to ask me what size hole. And I had to go show him the size hole to put in the box. And so then he made the hole, and it was a little bit too small. I looked at it, I was like, nah, I need it bigger. And he was like, man, come on. Like, cause now in his mind, he gotta know how big more, all that. So he was tripping. But he did. Shout out to him. He cut it up, and when I got out the shower, I gift wrapped it. And then I had to smuggle it out there. So I ended up putting it in.
Smuggle it.
Yeah, I ended up wrapping it, but then flattening it.
That's right.
And then putting it in my socks and stuff like that. I forgot about that. Damn. So then, boom, we get the trailer. It's Christmas Day. Candace's in the kitchen. I think she's already preparing dinner because we had put the food up. And I went in the bathroom, took a shower, and came out with nothing on but that box, y'all.
He was all lotioned up.
Yeah, boy. That was dope.
I was dying. I just remember turning around and I looked at him like, what? Because he was just naked.
And the hands was on the hips too, just so you know.
The hands was on the hips.
The hands on the hips.
So I'm like, what? And then I looked down and I just fell out.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just wanted to be able to do something for my wife that I would do when I was at home. So I tried
You ain't put your dick in the box since you've been home.
I already did that. Been there, done that. We gotta move on to something else. But I wanted to do something that I would do at home, and I try to take every opportunity I could.
That
wasn't a lot of them, but
that was a good one.
That was fun though.
That was so much fun.
Your reaction was priceless.
Did I ever surprise you? I don't know if
I remember when I came out the shower and you was sitting in that lingerie.
Oh, yeah, I did bring
with them heels.
Ah,
yeah, the black.
I forgot about that.
I wasn't, and you sitting on the side. You was sitting on the side with the side of the bed with your legs crossed. I was like, oh shit. Ooh.
I remember because I had those heels that you could lace up your leg, tie up.
Yes.
I think those are the only time I ever wore those shoes.
You still got those?
No. They literally. No, I wore them. Remember, I wore them to Stanley and Seafort's when you got your promotion.
You did.
And them shoes fell apart.
You did.
They were so old.
I had to walk you back to the truck, then go across the street, get the truck.
Because the shoe was falling apart. I literally wore those shoes one time and probably have had them like 15 years.
Yeah. That's crazy.
They were like, no, man.
Forgot about that, too.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we had a lot of good memories.
A lot of good memories. We never could seem to finish a movie in the first take. Like,
no.
We either fell asleep or just couldn't.
Tell them what else. Tell them what else. Because this is where we're out of pocket. Y'all know we started Hotel Rwanda over like 4 times.
How you get it on to Hotel Rwanda?
Listen, Hotel Rwanda's on, and I'm looking at her like, let's go. One time we was on the floor under the TV. I'm looking up like...
like, there's nothing sexy about Hotel Rwanda.
It's not. Anybody had to do that.
I could not get through that movie.
I was not paying attention to them damn people. I wasn't. I was paying attention to you, and I was trying to get it in.
Okay, this is the other thing he used to do to me. So I'd be in the room cooking. He'd be watching a movie, and I'd just be in there, and I'm like, I have heard this same part like 3 times. Why do I keep hearing the same part of the movie? And he would be rewinding it to see if I would catch on.
Yep.
Because I'm over here just like, just moving.
Y'all know black women in the kitchen. What are you going to hear? You going to hear that damn grease popping, right? So she in there, she frying up some pork chops or something. So the grease popping, the water's running from where she washing dishes or something like that. And I'm like, there's no way she's listening to this, but she's claiming she is. So I'll rewind it.
Yeah,
and
he'd
keep
be trying to test me.
Again.
And I'd be like, she just said that. Why are we hearing that again?
You was listening. But
trailer.
I used to do so much to try to get your attention in that little ass trailer because I just never got your attention enough back then. Not from your own fault, but we just didn't get enough time together. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. But
he wouldn't let nothing, like we'd be sitting anywhere I was sitting, I'd have to have my leg over him or my arm on him. Like he'd always want me touching him or right next to him. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I don't miss it. It's not like we don't touch each other a lot because we do touch each other a lot. But like even now, like we were so excited to be sleeping in the same bed with each other. And now sometimes we're just like, it's hot in here.
It's too hot to be sleeping together.
Are you going downstairs? Who's sleeping downstairs tonight? Like we're just still trying to figure out this whole
That's crazy.
Sleeping in the same bed thing.
That's crazy.
It's so interesting.
I mean, damn. I'm literally thinking about stuff I haven't thought about in a while.
In so long. I know. I swear, like these episodes bring up a lot, and then after they're over and I'm editing them and watching them again, it's just like, oh my god, because other things that'll come up.
Oh, so you have the same effect.
Mm-hmm. It's always been like, or the last few, I've just been like, damn, I forgot like how that affected us or how that made me feel, or I hadn't even thought about it in so long that it just was something you push out of your mind. But you push it out of your mind, but at the time, it was a huge part of your life. Yeah. And then for it to not be, it's just so interesting.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So crazy.
Man. Yeah, that was something that, like she said, it's a game changer. It was a game changer for the way we did time. Mm-hmm. And I think it was a game changer for the way we felt about each other. It brought a new element of anticipation versus just a visiting room, where you can only kiss for 4 seconds and kiss and hug for 4 seconds.
Yeah, both together, total.
Yeah, so, I mean.
Which is unrealistic. Mm-hmm. It was just also very inhumane. And I get it. You don't want folks making out. But I also got to tell you, you weren't stopping that. People were still making out. Yeah,
people were doing their thing.
But at the same time, like, you have people that have literally spent the day to try to get to their loved one. And you're going to tell the mom that she can't hug her son, that she hasn't seen in 5 years for whatever reason, and she can't hug him for more than 4 seconds. Just like you're going to tell the wife that she can't hug or kiss her husband. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, we did everything to try to get little pieces of intimacy before we had trailers. Like, there was times you could walk around and hold hands, so that was that part.
Didn't they cut that down? You
could walk real close, and then they stopped that. Just going up to the vending machine or something together allowed me to just cup her butt.
Sometimes they stopped that. Some institutions will let you both go. Other times only he could go or only I could go. Sometimes we couldn't go to the microwave together. So there was always so much separation in our together time the EFV was the first time that they didn't get to tell us no about anything.
Didn't get to monitor anything. Yeah.
No monitoring. And he would always say that, like, okay, I'm going to get your ass in that trailer. Ain't no monitors in there. He like, keep on acting up. Ain't no monitors in that trailer.
Yeah, that was dope. That was dope.
I know, man. Not that I'm not excited all the time. That was a different kind of excitement, though.
Yeah.
It was such
anticipation.
Yeah. Sometimes I miss the anticipation. Not that... Like again, my life is great, so it's not like I'm not happy or I don't have things to look forward to. That just was a different type.
I feel you, babe. I know where you're coming from.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Life don't hand you that great anticipation on an everyday basis, like, you know? And yeah, we really wanted to be with each other for honorable reasons. And we just look forward to it.
It was never like we didn't have to be in trailer worried about them coming to scoop us up because, you know, I done snuck something in or like that we were scared about that being taken away. It was like we could just be there and be with each other. Whereas like we'd have the guests we knew next door that was doing stuff they wasn't supposed to do, and in a way kind of being like, Lord, please don't let us get wrapped up into that mess somehow. Because it was always like our whole prison time, anytime something bad happened, it normally was not our fault. It was because of other people's doing stuff that we'd get punished for it, you know?
Every time.
Every time. So that was just always the worry. It's like, what are you about to do? Don't do that over here by me.
Being in proximity of knuckleheads, man, I'll tell you.
So I will say, though, like, so once I would get home from trailer, my first thing was put everything up in the refrigerator. And I would either get in the shower if I didn't that morning, but typically we showered before we left. And I would probably get in the bed. I'd either go pick up Chloe, depending on if I had to get her that day or the next. And then I would get home, put everything up, and then I would get in the bed for the rest of the day because I'd be so exhausted. Even though it was just so much emotions. It was emotional exhaustion.
Now, we used to usually we left trailer on a Sunday because usually we went out there on a Friday. Didn't you usually take Monday off from work?
Sometimes I would take Monday off, because, I would need it to just recoup. You know, we're hanging out and we're up all night long a lot of the times and just taking naps and stuff and not really sleeping. We're just trying to, and this guy, because he would be so like, remember you'd always be like, I'm going to miss it. I'm afraid I'm going to miss it. And so he wouldn't sleep at all.
Yeah.
He would stay up for 2 days. Like the first probably 2 years of trailer, he'd barely ever sleep. And then it would be like, okay, but now you're kind of being a butthead at the end of the day because you're tired. You need to take a nap.
Cranky.
You're cranky. So I'm going to need you to stop going to sleep.
But yeah, that's how it was because anytime at that time when I did go to sleep, like you say, I would just fall asleep. But usually it'd be like 20, 30 minutes and then something wake me up and then I'm like mad because I did fall asleep. But those chunks of hours, it was too much. When you got 48 hours and that's all you got.
And 8 of them you're sleeping. 16 of them you're sleeping.
Yeah, I can't. I wasn't about to do that.
But you started to realize that we had way more fun when we both got rest together. And I had to tell him, like, part of this for me is being able to sleep with my husband. And I don't ever get that. So you being up all night and then me being in the room sleep, that's not what I came here for. Like, we are supposed to be sleeping together. And then finally, when we figured out the whole TV situation and just started moving the bed, because they only put one TV in the whole place. And it's never in the bedroom where you're like trying to do both things.
That's why I was working so damn hard before you got in the trailer, because I had to clean it up before I could move the bed into the living room, get all the living room furniture out the way, move the bed in there and the box spring, and then make it up.
Yeah,
it was a trip. It was a trip. But that was our living room / bedroom for 2 days.
For 2 days.
That bed in front of the TV, close proximity to the kitchen, and we would just parlay.
We would just be snacking. We literally would get up to snack, go to the bathroom, shower.
Yeah, that was a compromise. So then you can go to sleep and I can still be there with you.
Exactly.
If I wasn't sleeping, but damn.
And then I remember a few times, like, we could just go outside. Remember, we'd go outside at nighttime just because we could, and it would be dark outside, and I'd be like, I haven't been outside with you in the dark for years. Like, little things like that you don't even think about. But, like, being outside with your man in the dark is so...
It's crazy.
Such a normal thing that is such a like, oh my God.
Yeah, nobody thinks about that. So we're saying that because, you know, when you go to visit, you're in a visiting room. She leaves the visiting room, goes out one door. I go out another door. So we're not with each other.
Never outside together.
Never outside.
Never. So Cedar Creek was actually the only visiting room we ever had where we could sit outside during visit.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere else, you always had to be indoors. So there was one time at Stafford Creek that they had like the Christmas carolers come and they let us go outside together and watch the Christmas carolers. Other than that, in those 20-something years, me and him never were outside together, especially not outside in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just never outside together, period.
Yeah.
So those little things, I remember remembering how important, like how special that was, or how like, oh my God, we've never done that before.
Yeah, we be out there, we watch sunsets.
Yeah.
We look at stars. We just be out there talking sometimes. We just never.
We'd be out there talking for hours, remember?
Mm-hmm.
We would be talking about kids and like how we wanted our lives to be, like the cars we were going to drive. Like, I mean, we talked about everything.
We did.
We had so many plans.
I appreciate God for giving us that space and time.
I do too.
Seriously.
I really do. Because we've always been really close, but those I think just helped us really solidify just our union with each other. And realizing like, no, that he really fucks with me and I'm really fucking with him. Like this is not just for the time being thing.
Oh yeah.
Like
100%.
we really in this.
100%. Yeah.
Making plans for the future. And then now to look back at all those things we talked about and how many of them we've surpassed or that aren't even a part of our lives, and we're like, why would we have ever wanted that?
Yeah.
We thought that's what we wanted.
That's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow, babe. We came through.
You guys, I hope this is not too many of those like long wows with the long pause after them, because this is literally bringing up stuff that I don't think I've thought about in so long.
It's not normal conversation, so yeah.
I don't even know how useful and how enjoying this will be for y'all, but it definitely is like, this has been a therapy for me. I just felt like we were in a good flow and we were talking about it. I don't even know if we've answered all of the intricate details because we got so situational.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Like we're gonna go home tonight and think about stuff from trailer that we just haven't thought about for years. I literally been trying to run down every institution that we've been at and different stuff that's happened. But yeah.
Do you remember that one time when we got New Year's Eve? And we had played a game. We were trying to play this game where we weren't gonna succumb to our carnal needs until after midnight. I think check-in was at like 3.
That was the second trailer that we had.
That was the second trailer.
So just to give you an idea how long it is, like we had August 31st, and then our next trailer was
December 31st.
December 31st, yeah. So that's how long we had to wait in between. But yeah, that was fun. That was actually fun. I remember how excited you were because you kept dancing.
Oh yeah, because it was New Year's, so you kept saying like, you were like, oh, okay.
I was sitting in the chair like, what's going on? Did you take something? Because you was just.
I was having a good time, but he never got to see me like that.
Yeah.
That was interesting because you were so shocked, like, who is this girl? And I'm like, I'm always like this. But as much as we spent time together, you never saw me in that element because it was always a visiting room. Yeah. Where could I have danced and sang?
Yeah.
And now I dance. He sees now that I dance and sing all the time. That's just what I do.
Even there's no music.
There's never been no music. It's always the music in my head, though. It's a song going in my head every time.
Very true. But that was a good one because that was a big trailer. It was like 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, had a long hallway, and we felt like king and queen up in that joint, didn't we?
We did.
But yeah, that was fun. It
was good times, babe.
Yeah,
I'm glad we did those together. We made it through.
We did. Like God saw an opportunity for us to be able to get those, and the stars aligned. Yeah,
he definitely hooked us up because we did not go about it the traditional way. We did not go about it the way most do. But we made it happen.
Yeah, we made it happen for sure.
So, you guys, I appreciate y'all for sticking around for this one. This is, like I said, this is going to be kind of a different episode because I don't really know I don't know what focus we really went on this. on this one. Please leave questions if we left gaps. Let us know in the comment section, because I would love to fill those in for you guys. Because I realize a lot of times during the editing that it's like, wait, what? You didn't answer that question, or you need to go back and fill that in. So please let us know. Before we let you go, though, ask the people.
Ask the people.
Why are they not subscribed?
Why the fuck y'all ain't subscribed? The fuck is wrong with y'all, man? This is the Relationship and Reentry Podcast. We're giving not only knowledge, but we entertaining. And making sure that you guys who are participating in this life are fulfilled and know that you're not alone. Why the hell aren't you subscribed?
I don't know, babe.
Hit the button.
Hit the button.
I am not playing with these people. Hit the button, man.
Hit the button. We are on the road to 10K, y'all. We're close to 5. We're trying to get to 10. Help us out. We'd love for y'all to share this podcast out with anybody that you know is going through it, come through it, just in a relationship, black love, anything of those nature. We'd love to share. Of course.
You know, I believe that's lost a lot of times, these relationships. You know, that both of you guys together can be empowered. But yeah, like you said, you don't know if we hit the issues, but to tell you the truth, everything we talked about was relationship and just showing how those trailer visits really helped us in the long run. It helped us do the time. It helped us see certain things about cohabitating together, you know, because we discussed that a lot when we was in trailer about, oh, you do that? Oh, you do this? And it wasn't necessarily 100% surprise when I came home. So the relationship reentry part is definitely covered in this discussion. So, but if y'all have particular questions and whatnot that you want to ask, just shoot them to us and we'll make sure we cover that for you.
Otherwise, we will be back next Thursday with another titillating episode. I hope so. We don't know yet. That's the goal. But until then, y'all, we appreciate you for coming. Please continue to come. Please, like I said, continue to like, comment, and share. And let us know if there's other things you want us to talk about. We love doing the ice grills with you guys. So keep those questions rolling. But like I said, we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, in all due respect, thank you for letting us binge you. Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.
All right.
Bye.
Peace.